Hi, my name is Barb McIntyre, and I am a retired middle school science teacher, and we're going to take a look at this graph together today. I'm going to be using a blue pen to highlight some of the things I'm talking about. So the first thing I do when I look at a graph is I look at the title, and I can see the title here is Time Difference, Horse versus Human Winners. And so I know that's going to be the topic of my graph. The next thing I'm going to do is look at the axes, and I'm going to start with the x-axis, and I see that the label is year of race. So I'm going to expect to see the years that each race was run, and I'm noticing that we're starting with 2023 on the left, and then we're going back to 1981 on the right. So that tells me that we're covering about 40 years, roughly 40 years of race results. The next thing I'm going to do is take a look at my y-axis, and I'm going to see that the label there is the time difference in minutes of the win. So this is going to tell me how much each winner won by. One of the things that I notice is a little different though when I look at the y-axis is I usually expect the 0 to be in the very bottom corner right down here. But what I'm noticing is that it's part way up. So you can see that 0 is right here. And I can see that the maker of the graph did this so that we could have two variables on the same graph. I'm noticing that we've got humans in this lower shaded portion of the graph, and I've got the results for horse wins in this unshaded area. So this bar graph is going to give me information about the number of wins for horses and for humans, and the time difference in the wins, so the margin of win. So the next thing I'm going to do, I've looked at my axes, and I'm noticing the increments. So I'm noticing in the y-axis that we've got a -12, which would be a 12-minute win in terms of humans, and a 48 for the top amount of the amount of time that a horse has won by. So I'm noticing that we're going by 12-minute increments as I move up the graph, and then the -12 shows me a 12-minute human difference for wins. The next thing I'm going to do is take a look at the graph itself and look for patterns. So I'm noticing that it's a bar graph. And some of the things that I'm noticing in terms of patterns is it looks to me as if we have far more horse wins than we have human wins. I'm seeing over those 40 years, only 4 human wins, where I'm seeing a lot of horse wins. And it looks like the first human win came right here in probably 2004 or so. So for the first 20 years or so, we've only had horse wins. I'm also noticing that the greatest amount of time that a human won by was close to 12 minutes, where if I draw this line, we can see across the 12 minutes that horses have won by a much greater margin than humans have. So the summary that I would take away from this graph is that horses in the past 40 years have won more often, and that they've won by a greater margin than humans. But I'm noticing a couple little interesting things that I've got questions about. And the first one is occurring right here. I'm noticing that we're missing a 2-year increment. All of the other x-axis are numbered by every 2 years. I would expect to have a 2021 right here, and it's missing. So I'm wondering why that is. The other thing I'm noticing is that in the recent times, it looks like humans have won. So between, say, 2020, 2021, we've seen only human wins and no horse wins. And that makes me wonder if we have a new pattern emerging or if that was just a random occurrence. So that would be my first glance at this graph and how I might do a quick analysis. Thank you.